Love 3, good.
Do you think Terence Crawford is approaching you in the proper way?
I think he's wanted the fight and doing respectful, you know. I want Canelo.
2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Canelo Álvarez has finally responded to the buzz around Floyd Mayweather training with Terence Crawford after footage of their session went viral. While the clip stirred up headlines, Canelo stayed locked in, grinding hard at the gym with full focus. When asked about it, his response was simple, confident, and cool: enjoy. With that one word, Canelo made it clear he's unbothered, undistracted, and fully focused on his own preparation.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Shakur Stevenson recently opened up about his experience meeting Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, and he had nothing but respect for both. Speaking with genuine admiration, Shakur highlighted how much he appreciates Mayweather's preference for surrounding himself with real, authentic people, a trait that's brought them closer. "We're so close now," Shakur shared, emphasizing how their bond has grown. It's clear that the respect between them runs deep, built not just on shared greatness in the ring, but on sincerity and connection beyond it.
Seeing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford all in the one place, and I know you put that together. You've played the game, and you put yourself in a position there to sort of create a moment. And there was a few viral moments from that in the clips outside. What's that sort of environment like for you? I get the feeling every time I speak to you, you're so locked in. Do you not feel anything when you're around everybody in the gym and you've got to do them spars?
It kind of just feel, you know. Back in the day, like, if you asked me this question, I probably would tell you, like, oh, it was so amazing. It was, but now I'm kind of so used to, like,
regular.
Yes, it feels so normal. Like, honestly, that's why me and, like, Floyd is so, like, close now, because it's like, I'm a genuine person, and he don't, like, he like genuine people.
Canelo Álvarez, often seen as the face of boxing, responded to Terence Crawford's respectful call-out with equal class and composure. Recognizing Crawford's interest in a potential matchup, Canelo appreciated the lack of trash talk, noting his respect for the way Crawford approached it. "You never know. Maybe one day I wake up and want to fight that guy," Canelo said, keeping the door open while confidently reaffirming the position he's earned in the sport. With calm humility, he acknowledged Crawford's achievements and the mutual integrity they both bring to the ring. Nothing's confirmed, but Canelo didn't rule it out. A future clash? It's definitely still in play.
With Teddy Atlas.
What's that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez.
Boxeador mexicano. Más popular, pero sin causa. Sí. It's fucking crazy, that guy. and you think he knows boxing? Fuck.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point, because Canelo Álvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kobe. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bill. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was against an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, you know, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence.
In the past, Canelo Álvarez made one thing clear: he wasn't going to cut weight just to fight Terence Crawford. He emphasized that it was Crawford pursuing the fight, not the other way around, and noted that if he agreed, critics might say he was targeting a smaller opponent. Canelo also shared that while he respects Crawford's skill, his style doesn't excite him the way other potential matchups do. The message was straightforward: if the fight ever happens, it'll be on Canelo's terms.
Understand, he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time, the power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
When he fought Canelo, and he was like standing right in front of Canelo, and Canelo's just whiffing, it was a life lesson. And then you look at how good Canelo's head movement got after that fight, when he realized it. I mean, my God, when he fought Danny Jacobs, and Canelo's just standing right in front of him, bobbing. That's all what he learned from.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has added to the growing conversation about the size disparity between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford. He pointed out that even if the fight takes place and Canelo comes out on top, he likely won't get much credit due to Crawford's naturally smaller frame. Canelo will not get any credit for beating a lightweight, Hearn said bluntly, highlighting the perception that, fair or not, Crawford may be seen as too small for the bout to be considered a legitimate challenge.
Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. But what's his options? I mean, like, you know, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? You know, Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, His Excellency wants to make that fight, so guess we could see it.
Shakur Stevenson has expressed strong confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to take on Canelo Álvarez, size difference or not. After spending time with both Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, Stevenson feels that too many people are fixated on weight rather than skill. I think he can beat Canelo, because weight doesn't matter. Skills pay off, Stevenson said, standing firmly behind Crawford as a serious contender. For him, it's not about who's bigger. It's about who's better.
Like, this nice cause of Bud. Like, me, truthfully, like, I done got better through the years. Like, not even just being in the ring with him, but even being outside the ring. I get it. Watching his demeanor, watching what he doing in his sparring, watching his training camp, how hard he trained. Like, dog, I owe Bud a lot, so I'll never even talk about too much sparring.
Yeah, I got you. Shakur, everybody just keeps saying, bro, he lighting the ass, the weight. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
what do you say about that?
I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he's like very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as like people think. It's just he look like it. Yeah. So like if you see him in
person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo. And people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said I think Terence Crawford will beat Canelo.
Canelo Álvarez has consistently stressed the importance of weight classes in boxing, believing that fighters perform best at their natural weight. In a recent interview, he reminded fans, there are weight classes for a reason, pointing out that Terence Crawford is most suited for 147 pounds, not the 168 pounds division where Canelo currently dominates. His stance underscores the belief that jumping weight classes, especially for a high-stakes fight, can significantly impact a fighter's performance. Canelo also downplayed Crawford's call-out, saying it's nothing new. Everyone wants to fight me. Meanwhile, boxing legend Floyd Mayweather chimed in, reflecting on his own fight with Canelo. He reminded fans that during their bout, Canelo was in his prime, while Floyd was already past his physical peak, and yet, he still came out on top.
Canelo said that because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man. So I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. You know, I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here, young guy. Even though I'm old, I got a lot of experience. I'm gonna go out there and just show him that this is the elite level in this stuff.
Floyd Mayweather didn't hold back when talking about Canelo Álvarez, boldly stating, I was like 40 years old when I cooked this dude. A sharp reminder of his dominant win and a subtle jab at the idea that Canelo is untouchable. Coming from an undefeated legend, Mayweather's words add fuel to the ongoing debate around Canelo's legacy. Meanwhile, Canelo has brushed off Terence Crawford's callout, reiterating, "Everyone wants a shot at me," and making it clear he's only interested in fights that make sense for his career and legacy. While he admitted he'd consider the matchup if the money's right, he also expressed hesitation, citing Crawford's elusive, movement-heavy style as a drawback. He moves a lot, and the fight is boring. It's a reminder that for Canelo, it's not just about winning. It's about delivering exciting, legacy-defining battles.
I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So if the money is right, I mean, why not?
How you think he did at that weight, at 154? How you think Crawford did?
You know, they are a weight class for a reason, and you need to ask him. It's different. I know in his mind he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. I like how he fight, but that's why there are weight classes.
Canelo Álvarez has openly cast doubt on Terence Crawford's resume, suggesting that Crawford has only faced one truly elite opponent. He implied that Crawford's record lacks the depth and high-level competition expected at the top tier of the sport. This critique highlights Canelo's skepticism about whether Crawford is genuinely prepared for a fight of this magnitude, especially against someone with Canelo's experience and proven success across multiple weight classes.
You tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you know, you never know in boxing.
In response to Canelo's remarks, Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian "Bo Mac" McIntyre, stepped up to defend his fighter's resume. He argued that Crawford's dominance is precisely what makes his opponents seem less impressive. Not because they're lacking, but because Crawford is simply that good. Crawford makes everybody look normal, McIntyre said, emphasizing the belief that it's Crawford's elite skill set that either levels the playing field or tilts it entirely in his favor. This passionate defense highlights the unwavering confidence in Crawford's superior talent, adaptability, and his ability to make even the best look average.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody else.
Showbiz, the renowned boxing analyst, analyzed the potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez, praising Crawford as an all-time great. He argued that the size difference wouldn't be a significant factor in the matchup, emphasizing that Crawford's exceptional skills would allow him to control the fight, regardless of weight class. Crawford's abilities are so extraordinary that size won't be the decisive factor, Showbiz confidently stated, highlighting Crawford's elite ring IQ, adaptability, and precision as the key elements that would tilt the scales in his favor.
Weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Álvarez.
I just want the opportunity, you know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just, you know, just like to, you know, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which, you know, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war.
Mikey Garcia recently shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, emphasizing the challenges posed by the weight and size disparity. Garcia pointed out that while Canelo competes at 168 pounds, Crawford has only recently moved up to 154 pounds, where he has faced some difficulties. He noted that Canelo is unlikely to drop below 166 pounds, stressing the significant size gap between the two. While Garcia acknowledged Crawford's superior skill set, he predicted that Canelo's size and power would likely give him the edge in this matchup. He highlighted the contrast between Crawford's technical abilities and Canelo's physical advantages, suggesting that Canelo's strength would ultimately dominate the fight.
Night, how do you see that playing out?
I'm not a big fan of that fight matchmaking because they're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. I told him yesterday when I met him up last night there at the dinner, I'm like, dude, you're a badass. Like, you've been a badass. You don't always get the recognition because of, you know, politics in boxing and the favoritism here and there. But he truly does have the skills, and he's a great fighter. He's proven it multiple times, obviously. Now, Canelo is, you know, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding.
Social media influencer and boxer Jake Paul has also shared his thoughts on the potential fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, finding the matchup intriguing due to the weight class difference. Paul pointed out that fans have never seen Crawford compete at such a high weight before, making the fight a fascinating challenge. His comments reflect the broader public's curiosity about how Crawford would perform at a higher weight class against a formidable opponent like Canelo.
It's interesting because of the weight class. We haven't seen Terence go up there, and will he have the power? But I do think that Terence has the skill and is a bit fresher than Canelo. So if I had to put my money on it, I would probably go with Terence.
I think Canelo destroys him.
Really?
I do.
Wow. I mean, but most people think that, but they don't know.
I don't think that happens. I think, Terence is just super talented at adjusting inside that ring. The weight will play a part. We'll see that when the fight happens, but I think that fight is going to be a lot more interesting than most people think.
Who was the hardest punch?
The much-anticipated showdown between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford is reportedly set for September, according to ESPN's Mike Coppinger. Speculation surrounds the scheduling of a major card on Friday, May 2nd, potentially to avoid competition with Canelo's preferred Cinco de Mayo weekend. This timing has sparked excitement for both fighters. If the schedule holds, fans could see 2 Canelo fights this year, with Crawford possibly headlining the latter. The strategic timing also evokes nostalgia, reminiscent of classic Friday night fights, bringing an exciting twist to the modern boxing scene. A Canelo versus Crawford matchup would surely electrify boxing fans around the world.
But do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford? I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
You know, everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. You know, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then, you know.
I just want the opportunity, you know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just, you know, just like to, you know, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you know, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best.
In a recent interview, Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre expressed strong confidence in a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight, dismissing concerns about the weight difference. He emphasized that true fighters focus on skills, not excuses, stating, "If you accept the fight, get in there and fight." McIntyre reinforced the idea that boxing is about skill, not weight limits or unnecessary complaints.
If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights, where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness, but I mean he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
The potential fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford has become one of the most highly anticipated events in boxing. Fans are eager to see how the contrasting styles and weight classes of the two fighters will play out. Some enthusiasts are so confident in their predictions that they're placing significant bets on the outcome. For example, boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult has reportedly wagered $30,000 on the fight, underscoring the high stakes and widespread interest surrounding this potential showdown.
Projected odds that came out. One of the odds projectors say Canelo is opening up as the favorite, -130. Crawford is +100. That's damn near 50-50. Another one says Canelo Álvarez is the favorite, -185. Crawford is the underdog, only +55. Let me tell you something. If those are the odds on my booking come day one, I'm max betting Canelo Álvarez. I could give a damn. Y'all mean to tell me that y'all think it's 50-50? I'ma empty my account on Canelo Álvarez. I don't have to bet KO, none of that shit. If y'all think it's that close, I'ma empty my account. $30,000, I can give a shit. I'm about to come up. I was gonna bet on Crawford thinking he'd be the huge underdog. Y'all got...
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates as we keep you covered on all the latest in boxing. Until next time, keep supporting the sport, and I'll catch you in the next one.